Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here. We are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Monday, January 23rd slate of NBA action. I'm super excited to dive into it. We have about 7 games here on the slate, so plenty of games, plenty of plays to be able to choose from. Hopefully we do have a couple winners here today. We ended up going 1-2 on our plays yesterday. We'll recap that here in just a second, but I have a couple things I wanted to address. First things first, just want to go ahead and say we are still currently on the road to 11,000 subscribers. If you guys are new, make sure that you guys do like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do, and thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean the absolute world to me, so much more than you guys will ever know. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into a quick recap as of yesterday. Not necessarily the greatest day. We really didn't have any sweats of the day, which was kind of nice, kind of not, considering I was watching the NFL playoffs instead. But we did end up having our one win of the day. We had Tim Hardaway Jr. over 2.5 made threes versus the Clippers at -115. This was a no sweat. Tim Hardaway Jr. was pretty much chucking all game long. He ends up finishing with 5 made threes, shoots 50% from the field. He had a really good game, ended up working out for us. Then we did have our 2 losses. We had Fred VanVleet under 20.5 points versus the Knicks at -120. Really, the part that beat us, that really hurt us about this one, was he really got things going early, which was kind of unfortunate. He ends up scoring I think it was 14 points in the first quarter, and then after that, for the rest of the game, only scores 14 points. So, it's kind of a double-edged sword there. Ends up having a really good first quarter from Fred VanVleet, but after that, it doesn't really do a whole lot. So if he would have duplicated that second half, we ended up winning this one. But regardless, I think that I don't really think it was a terrible call, especially with him coming off an injury. The matchup, I know, wasn't necessarily great. I know he's had a good history versus the Knicks, but I just figured there's going to be more factors to it. Unfortunately, there was not. Then we did also have Damian Lillard under 8.5 assists. This one, again, I feel like it wasn't an awful call. He ends up having 8 assists in the first half, and then only 2 for the whole second half. So, kind of whatever way you really want to look at it, regardless, he ends up having a really good first half and then really, really slows down in the second. So just kind of had 2 games where the player that I picked ended up starting off really hot and then cooling off. Just wish it would have been the other way around. But it is what it is. We ended up going 1-2 on our plays. We're getting dialed back in here because we've been pretty rough. The only other thing I wanted to go ahead and touch on, there will be a pretty big announcement today. That video is going to be going live tonight at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that video is going to be coming out tonight, and I am stoked, you guys, because we got some big things coming. And I'm super excited to dive into that. But without any further ado, I know what you guys are here for. You guys are here for the picks, so let's go ahead and give them. So for our first official play of the day, our King's Kill Shot play of the day, we are going back to our guy. We are going to Lauri Markkanen over 36.5 points plus rebounds here versus Charlotte at -110 odds. Now, Lauri Markkanen's been one of my most profitable player props all year long. He's gone over 9 out of his last 14 games. He's been very, very good to this line. He has literally the most advantageous matchup ever versus Charlotte. Charlotte allows the most points per game to opposing small forwards in the last 7 games. They also allowed the 3rd most rebounds per game to small forwards on the entire year, and the 8th most in the last 7. So despite them getting a tiny bit better in that small forward rebound department, doesn't matter to me. I still think he's going to be able to crush this one. He also has gone over in 3 out of his last 4 home games. He's really turned it up a notch at home lately, and I think he does that once again versus a struggling Charlotte team. And Charlotte also allows the 3rd most points per game to opposing teams. There's no doubt about it. We all know Charlotte's not really a great defense. They are also 27th in defensive efficiency, one of the worst in all of basketball. So I think that there's a ton of value here for Lauri Markkanen to be able to get this. I don't think he gets it with points alone, but I do think he scores 30 tonight, and the rebounds are just going to come naturally to him. So I do think it's a really good spot. Charlotte does allow the 2nd most rebounds per game to opposing teams too, and they are 5th in pace. So not only is it a pace-up spot, they give up a ton of points, they give up a ton of rebounds. Yeah, sign me up, especially against a red-hot Lauri Markkanen. Sign me up. So that's our first official play of the day. Lauri Markkanen over 36.5 points plus rebounds here versus Charlotte at minus 110 odds. Now, for our second official play of the day, we're going to be taking DeJounte Murray over 21.5 points here versus my Chicago Bulls at minus 105 odds. Now, he has gone over in 5 straight games. That's literally the only thing that's making me a little bit nervous because he has gone over in 5 straight. There could be a chance where this is a regression spot, but I do think regardless it's going to be a good matchup. He's more than likely going to get Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan on him. And I do not care which one because DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine, both love those guys. But regardless, they're not very positive defenders. I think this is a really good spot because Chicago does allow the 12th most points per game to opposing shooting guards. So, not necessarily like a top 10 or anything, but they are still in the top half of the NBA. But what I love most is DeJounte Murray has been shooting the ball a lot. In those 5 games that he has gone over, he's averaging 19.7 field goal attempts per game. So he's getting the shot attempts. We're just asking him to make them. And versus a bad Chicago defense, specifically from the wing and the shooting guard and small forward position, sign me up. Chicago is also 18th in points allowed on the year and 19th in defensive efficiency. So, like I said, they're not bottom tier, but they're definitely not a great defense either. So I think this is a really good spot. Atlanta is also 7th in pace, and Chicago is 14th. Both of these teams are pretty fast-paced teams, should see plenty of volume, should see plenty of opportunity to be able to score, and I think it's a really good spot. The Bulls, I will say, they do play better against good teams, like above 500 teams, which does kind of worry me just slightly. But I do think that Chicago does end up coming close to this game. They are actually favored in this one, which is weird. At the time recording this video, at least, they are -1, which is just very, very, very strange. But DeJounte Murray, I do think he is able to get to that 22 points. So that is going to be our second official play of the day. DeJounte Murray over 21.5 points versus Chicago at -105 odds. Now for our third and final play of the day, we are going to be taking Tre Jones over 6.5 assists here versus Portland at +120 odds. Now he has gone over in 2 out of his last 3 games, so he has been pretty good at dishing the rock here recently. Hopefully he can make that 3 out of his last 4 for us. And he also has gone over in 4 out of his last 5 versus Portland. He's seen a lot of success passing the ball versus Portland, and I don't expect any of that to change. Portland also does allow the 3rd most assists per game to opposing point guards in the last 7 games, and the 6th most on the year. So not only do they give up the 6th most on the year, they've actually given up even more in the last 7 games. So sign me up for this one. And the Spurs have actually been a very good shooting team. Like, I know that the Spurs aren't necessarily a great team overall, but their offense has looked really solid. In the last 3 games, they are 10th in field goal percentage. On the season, they're 20th, so they have jumped up a whole 10 rankings. They've been shooting the ball a lot better. Should give Tre Jones even more options to be able to pass it to. And Portland is going to be on the second leg of a back-to-back. Who really knows what that truly means? I mean, like, they are on the second leg of a back-to-back, but are they going to play better? Are they going to play worse? I really don't know. But second leg of a back-to-back, that can always be a vulnerable spot for defenses as well. So I really do think this is a good spot here for +120 for somebody that's hit it over in 2 of his last 3. Yeah, sign me up. I really do like this one. We're going to be riding with it for our third and final play of the day. Tre Jones over 6.5 assists versus Portland at +120 odds. Now, we do also have our consensus play of the day. For the consensus yesterday was the Thunder +6. We didn't even need the points. The Thunder ended up winning this one outright. Really good win from the guys. So we ended up having another successful day in the NBA for the consensus play. Let's go ahead and make that happen once again. So for today's consensus play, we are going to be going to the Grizzlies and the Kings game. Grizzlies are traveling to the Kings to Sacramento on the Kings on the second leg of a back-to-back, and the Kings are currently +1.5. It doesn't look like the injury report has anybody on it. It looks like both the teams are pretty clean. So it's pretty much an even matchup here. So we do have from left to right, we do have Brady. Brady's going to be on the Memphis Grizzlies. We do have Mitch is going to be on the Memphis Grizzlies as well. We have Ryan is on the Kings. We have Seth is on the Grizzlies, and currently for me, I'm going to take the Kings in this one. I think this is a spot that the Kings do win, but hey, I'm still riding with my guys no matter what. That, we are a team at the end of the day. So that is going to be the consensus play of the day. Grizzlies -1.5 here versus the Kings at -110 odds. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we are still currently on the road to 11,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure that you guys are subbed and keep a lookout for that announcement video later tonight. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Sander signing out. Peace.